From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Thousands of families are facing another day without power after the biggest winter storm of the season brought Arctic air and dangerous ice to the south last weekend. The southern side of the winter storm produced significant ice accumulations, snapping trees and power lines and heavily straining electricity infrastructure across the region. During peak impacts, nearly 1 million customers were left without power as heavy ice-coated lines and poles, with Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas ranking among the hardest-hit states. Icy roads and bridges compounded the risks, making travel hazardous and slowing emergency response efforts. Nearly 400,000 customers woke up without power Wednesday after some of the lowest temperatures of the winter settled in. In Mississippi, temperatures were in the upper teens on Tuesday, reaching just 20 as the sun came up. By Wednesday, temperatures were inching into the mid-20s. The slight warm-up will end this weekend as another round of wind and cold settles in by Saturday. On Monday, Governor Tate Reeves announced 2 deaths associated with winter storm impacts in the state of Mississippi. Entergy Mississippi officials said that due to icy road conditions, downed trees, freezing temps, and terrain, damage assessments were hindered. Damage across the western half of the state is extensive, with crews already identifying 234 broken poles and 971 spans of wire down. AccuWeather's Carl Erickson said that the bitter cold is increasing the risk of hypothermia for people who are still without power and heat after the storm. This relentless stretch of bitter cold is slowing down work to restore power and clear icy roads in the hardest-hit communities. Typically, ice melts within a day or two after most southern ice storms. That's simply not happening with this Arctic air locked in. Some areas may not see power restored until the weekend. Tennessee Emergency Management Agency officials said freezing rain, extreme cold, and winds up to 25 miles per hour slowed recovery efforts on Monday and worsened already hazardous conditions. About 130,000 customers were still without power Wednesday, including nearly 100,000 customers in Nashville and Davidson County. Nashville Electric Service said teams were working overnight and in extended 14 to 16-hour shifts to restore power to about 130,000 customers. Middle Tennessee Electric has also been sharing updates showing the difficult conditions that line workers are facing as restoration efforts continue. Power lines remain weighed down by ice, and trees continue to topple under the weight, blocking roads and limiting access to equipment. Hundreds of warming shelters are open across the southeast this week due to widespread outages and extreme cold. Even so, officials continue to urge people to stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary because of icy conditions and downed trees and power lines. While the East Coast is preparing for a bomb cyclone to develop this weekend, bringing with it heavy snow, South Florida is gearing up for what may be the lowest temperatures seen in decades. A powerful cold blast will reach deep into the orange groves and bring a rare chance of Gulf Coast snow, forcing millions across the state to bundle up. Low temperatures in the mid-20s are forecast for Orlando Sunday and Monday mornings. The last time they were in this temperature territory was in 2010. To put the cold in long historical perspective, the all-time observed low for any date at Orlando is 19 degrees, set in 1985 and 1895. In Miami, temperatures are projected to dip into the mid-30s Sunday and Monday mornings. Temperatures last reached this level in 2010 as well. The all-time record low at Miami for any date is 31, set in 1977. AccuWeather meteorologists are warning that not only temps will be low, but the winds will be fierce. The combination of temperature, wind, and other factors will cause AccuWeather real field temps to dip to 15 to 30 degrees lower than the actual temperature at times, Saturday and Sunday. Along the west coast of the Florida Peninsula, cold air rushing over warm Gulf waters could briefly create a condition similar to, but substantially less intense than Great Lakes effect snow. The best chance of the Gulf effect snow would be late Saturday to Saturday night. Damage to citrus fruit begins at 28 degrees and is dependent on the duration of the cold and the thickness of the rind, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Light frosts or short freezes can help boost the fruit's sugar content. Leaf damage of the citrus trees begins at around 24 degrees for non-acclimated foliage. At this point in the winter, some varieties of oranges, tangelos, and grapefruit are at various late stages of maturity and are being harvested or nearing the end of harvest season. In addition to frosts and freezes this winter, the citrus industry has been battling disease and damage from recent hurricanes. Now, the setup still looks chilly through mid-February. AccuWeather's long-range team is monitoring a potential polar vortex disruption in early February that could give an extra boost to the cold in the eastern U.S. in the weeks that follow. That's all for now. You can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com, and for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.